Welcome to today's podcast, Winning with Grace. We have Kid Roze with us today. Just kidding, it's Matthew. Matthew and I used to be former roommates probably two years ago, and it's been really cool to see your transformations since living in that house that we had for traders in Dallas, and now you're in Dallas as a DJ, running up all these different DJ gigs and being able to express your authenticity through music, which is something that I know that while we were doing business together was something that was always a passion of yours. And so it is really cool to see how you've taken that now into really diving in and really going all in the DJ world. And so I'm excited to talk to you today about that specific side of Matthew because I don't think many people know that side of you. I know a lot of people know you as like somebody who's been in the crypto space, somebody who's been in the forex space and digital education, but they don't actually know the DJ side of Matt. And so I'm really excited to get to introduce that side of you today. First of all, just how did you even come up with that name? Like, did somebody else name you or did you, like, how do DJs come up with their names?
Well, one, I appreciate you having me. I really am excited to kind of put myself out there in this form of fashion. It's very exciting. I guess something to explain about myself that not like you said, not a lot of people know. As far as the name, it was originally M Rose. It
Mm,
was like my first initial, my first name, and then it was my last name as well. But it's like kind of shortening it because nobody's gonna say M Rosa. M Rose just sounds a little bit better. But I think we had found I found somebody on Apple Music that kind of had a similar name. So I was like, it's spelt different. It's not the exact same. It's two different genres.
yep.
But
I don't want to do it.
to avoid the legal reasons later down the road, I was like, let me not use it.
Fair
Uh,
enough.
so it took me a minute to kind of get away from M Rose because it was like, I was like,
Kinda
that's
like
just,
stuck on it.
yeah, like it just felt right. It just feels right. And then I was started playing around with the names, and I was like Santiro or this or that. I was like, they're like, you know what? I was like, let me keep it like a symbols. Was it? How do you say it? Symbols?
Symbolism or
Yeah,
symbol?
the like how you used to be in school and you
Syllable.
said clap
Syllables.
syllables. There we go. I don't know why I said symbols. Like syllables. So it's all like M Rose and Kid Rose just had the same like
Feel
syllables to it. So I was like,
yeah.
you know what? Let me just keep it simple for people. Let me just keep it like that. So at the end of the day, I was like, and then plus I'm still like 24, so it's like at the end of the day, I'm still somewhat of a kid in everybody else's eyes. But probably when we get a little bit older, we might have to change it to something else,
I think it'll be
rebrand
better
or
when
something.
you're older.
Yeah,
It's like Kid Rose, it's that old guy.
yeah. So that's kind of how I came up with the name. It was just something that you know, I guess integrating AI as well.
Is that across the board, like, when it comes to, like, DJ names? Like, I honestly never really got like, I honestly have no context for the DJ world, so you're gonna have to educate me a lot on
Yeah,
just
no, definitely.
the music world is as something that I very much enjoy because I'm not good at. And so I love music, but, like, I was not musically inclined whatsoever as a kid, and I'm like so I have this deep appreciation for it because I have not tried to do it since I was little.
Yeah. I guess across the board, I think every DJ is a little bit different.
Mhm.
So it's more like it's kind of like when you're naming like your business or something,
Okay, so
right?
they
It's like yeah, and you in a way because it's pretty much like that's how you're gonna get paid, right? Like that's your business name. So it's like when you come up with a business, like you're constantly cycling through names to see which one sticks and which one feels right and which one's catchy. So it's the same thing as a DJ. Like when you're a DJ, like how do you want to be remembered? And one of the things that my mentor told me was like, yeah, like if you can't see that name on an EDC, Tomorrowland, or Ultra Music Festival stage, he's like, then that should not be your name. Because if your name, he's like, that should not be your name. He's like,
that's your name.
yeah, he's like, if you can't see it and people like recognize it and like stuff like that, and it's simple for people to see,
Hmm,
he's like, then that shouldn't be your name. So it's like that's kind of how you have to go through it. At least that's how I understand it.
it's
'Cause
like
that's kind of what he told me.
begin with the end in mind. It's like, if you wanna be on those big charts, gigs, yeah. No, that makes sense. That's really cool. And to I think I know a little bit about the background of your, like, love for music, but tell the audience, like, where did that start? What's the, like, the real backstory between music and your love for music and your passion for DJing?
Yeah, definitely. So for me, it started when I was a kid. I think growing up, I always had an affinity for music just
Okay.
because it kind of helped me, I guess, get through the tough times when I was going through certain moments in my life. Parents divorcing. When you're a kid, especially at 7, 8 years old, you're kind of stuck in between two parents who are always bickering. Telling them, "Hey, tell your dad this. Hey, tell your mom that." And I don't blame my parents for anything. That's not what I'm saying. Music kinda just helped me get through those moments. It helped me express my feelings even when I didn't feel like I needed to feel it, if that made sense. So it's like if I needed to cry and I didn't wanna cry, I was like, but I know I needed to cry, I was like, "Let me find a song that's gonna help me cry so I can go ahead and just get it over with." You know what I mean? Or like if I needed to smile or I needed to laugh or I needed to hype myself up, right? All these different music like music, everybody knows that music is frequency. Like depending on what you're listening to, right, that's how you're gonna feel. So it's all like in those moments where I needed to hype myself up, I would listen to songs that would make me feel like I'm ready to run through a wall. You know, when I was like in moments of where I needed to just kind of have a moment to myself and feel my feelings, which there's nothing wrong with. I would put on music that would help me feel that. So I'm always looking for things, especially in music, that's gonna help me convey my emotions in a way where it allows me to express myself. A main reason why I fell in love with music was because my grandfather, who God bless his soul, he passed away when I was in 7th grade, so like 12, I think. He had his own he literally would spend time with my uncles in the back shed, and all they would do was just play instruments, play drums, like, that's all they were doing was just playing music, playing music, playing music. Like, literally every day of every summer after he got off work, every weekend, they would be in that shed for, like, 3, 4 hours just playing music, and you just hear them. And then, like, my uncle, he was a guitar player or he was a bass player, so he got to live out his dream being in a band, and they actually ended up playing at the House of Blues one time, opening up for somebody. One of my uncles was a really good drummer, so, like, he's always, like, tapping and this, and that, and it's like, we just always had that music flowing into our veins. So
Music's
it
been
was
in
like yeah, like, it's just always been there, and it was like for me when I was a kid, like, in high school, I would like to write songs. I like to write music because you know, I think especially growing up as a teenager, especially in modern day America now, I think it's even harder. But you don't have those, I guess, outlets to express your emotions the way that you feel like you need to because you're in this weird space as a person, as a human being. And so the only way for me to convey that was to write out music, was to figure out another way to express those things. And like and you can see like the big theme here is feelings. It's all about feeling for me.
That's what I was gonna ask, was, like, when did it consciously make sense to you that, like, music is frequency? Because like, we know this, like, innately, like, we play sad music when we need to feel sad or play happy music when we wanna feel happy. It's like, when did you really, like, grasp the concept that music was frequency and you can evoke emotions and stuff with frequency?
Yeah. I would say like the first time I fully grasped that idea was probably like early 20s. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It was like I'm still like
Like,
I'm like
couple
mid
years
20s now, I'm 24. Yeah, so like a few years ago, because like I said, like when you're 18, like 19, 17, 16, like all those like in that age group, like, you don't really understand the world because
you
all
just
you
haven't
know is
introduced to the concepts and the things yet.
yeah,
You've
like
been
you
around
just
long enough.
yeah, like you just kind of you understand it, but it's like you're still kind of fairly new to the world because now like you're like I said, you're entering into this weird new phase of life
Mhm.
where it's like you're going from knowing school every day of your life to then like now you got to figure it out, and it's like these feelings of overwhelmingness is you kind of have to find an outlet for it. And so I'll say like when I was like 20, 21 is when I really finally understood like, damn, like Like, why am I sad right now? Like, I shouldn't even be sad right now. Like, like, but then I realized, oh, it's because I'm listening to this song. Like, let me change it up. And it's like, and you'll pick up on those things like when you start noticing, yourself as a person, and you'll kind of just like pick up on that a little bit because like you can be driving and then like your playlist is on and then next thing you know, it's like, damn, like now you got a sad song. And then now you're like, damn, now you're going through all the thoughts that in your head of like, damn, like this person. I remember this person. This was this. You know what I mean? And then but then like a next song comes on and like now you're hyped and you're like, damn, like, and then now you're like, oh, man, I'm here. I got it. I'm getting down, man. You know what? I might drop out to the club today and just throw some hundreds. Like, dude, it's Monday at like 12 p.m. Like, dude, like, yeah, but it's just like you kind of just understand it once you kind of. I would say when you become emotionally mature. I'm not saying emotionally perfect. When you start understanding your emotions, that's when you start realizing that music is really just frequencies, and it's playing on your emotions depending on how you're feeling.
It's cool. And you mentioned that music is an outlet. Do you have any other outlets besides music, since music now is almost like a profession, or is it still like that is your outlet for expression and now you just get to be doing it as a profession? Some people have
I,
to both, some people don't, so, like, it is always cool to me.
yeah, no, I would definitely say like as a profession, it still is an outlet because at
Mhm.
the end of the day, like you're still expressing those things. You're still able to express what it is that you're feeling. I had a DJ buddy of mine. I went to go visit him one time, and he was like, we and him had a good talk after a set or whatever. And he's like, yeah, bro. He's like, like he was going through some things, this and that, and he's like, as a DJ, like regardless of how you're feeling, you still got to play the music. You still got to play up to the crowd, but also you can kind of toss in how you're feeling and make the crowd feel that as well. And the crowd's still gonna love it because at the end of the day, they're probably feeling those exact same feelings that you are. You know, they're
It's
just
interesting because your actual, like, if we're really talking frequencies, your frequency that you are as a person, like, whatever that circumference is, and you're DJing around people, then all of their frequencies are there. So, yeah, you would naturally be, like, vibing on the same frequency.
exactly. So it's just yeah. So it's literally just one of those things where it's like, even though it's a profession, you can still express yourself through that. And that's where a lot of these great songs that everybody listens to comes from. Is you know the biggest songs that everybody loves are like heartbroken songs or like love songs or this and that because for being honest, those are things that everybody feels.
Mhm.
Everybody feels those things all the time, whether you admit it or not. You feel those emotions, and
Yeah.
then if that song is conveyed well enough with the right chords, with the right intentions, and with the right vocals, and displayed with genuine feelings, you're gonna get that in your music, and then that's how some of these songs become top 100, number one songs, stuff like that. Even through house music and stuff, it's like even though people are like, "Oh, it's just beats going together." I'm like, but if you actually understand and like, yeah, it's so weird because you're like, you
Get
try to
into
tell
it
people
because
like,
it's like if you can nerd out with it, like, go for it. 'Cause stuff that I'm like, I understand beats and I understand, like, the feeling, but, like, for somebody to break it down, like, if you can, then that would be sweet.
yeah, absolutely. So like for me, like I love house music and I've always loved EDM music. Um, like I said, like to some people, it's just noise, right? Now,
Mhm.
some of it is like it is just like da 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 da, like it is like right. But there's other ones where it's like you have like melodic house, right? Like deep house, like all these different types of genres within that space where it's like it just feels like if you can just feel the music. Like that's when people are like, oh, you gotta feel the music, right? What they're saying is you have to allow yourself to connect to it, right? That's how, when you dance, they say, oh, when you dance, feel the music, move your hips, move your hips. It's like the whole point is to allow yourself to be it's gonna get weird, but allow yourself to be consumed by the music and to whatever that string sound or that drum or that bass or that synth, like you allow yourself to feel it in a way that you've never felt it before. And then now you're just moving with it. You're just swaying with it, right? You're allowing your feelings to feel through that sound. And it's almost like it's just crazy because it's like it's literally angelic in a way to the point where it's like you kind of just forget who you are in that moment and you just allow yourself to feel.
It's really
And that's
cool. It's like, do you think all humans are capable of doing that if they get past their, like, the ego side of it? Like, of like, "Oh, I don't wanna look stupid, I don't wanna look crazy."
yeah, honestly, yeah, because like when you look at all these people who go to these music festivals and stuff like that, like yeah, they dress crazy, they dress wild. Like you look at it and you're like, oh, I would never wear anything like that. And it's like, well, that's the issue is that the reason why you keep saying, same thing when we were in the network marketing in the education space. It's like, oh well, once you start getting out of your head about what you won't do or what you can't do or what you would look like, then that's when you can really be your true and free self when it comes to that. So I think if people would just kind of give give house music and EDM music a chance,
Yeah,
and it's honestly starting to become a lot more popular now. But if they would just give it a chance or they just allow themselves to feel the feelings, then I think they'd be great. I think they'd be fine.
that's cool. I was like, I've seen more and more of those, like, coffee shops where they're starting to put DJs in coffee shops in the mornings instead of, like, morning Sunday mimosas, it's like morning coffee and rave. And it's
Yeah, yeah,
so it's like it's definitely becoming more a thing.
definitely becoming more of a thing, and that's what the beauty of it because people are starting to understand, like, okay, like there's more than like just beat boops and ding dings and all that stuff, and it's like it's just you have to find what's right for you the same way like people find different things for themselves within certain subgenres of the main genre. You just have to find what works for you.
What's the current genre or, like, what's the current, like, music that you've been playing?
So I'm mainly a Latin DJ.
Mhm.
So, like I said, like I play at Vedora, most nights, most weekends. I think I did Rockwood for a little bit where they were trying to have a Latin night. Promotion just wasn't good enough. Wasn't my fault. I'm not a promoter. I just play the music. But overall, I mainly play Latin music. Trying to learn more hip hop just because that's where all the gigs are at. When you get booked and stuff like that, people like to listen to hip hop, whether depending on where you're at. But even then, like most people listen to hip hop just because it's like the neutral ground for everything. So it's kind of like,
So it's like if you can play that, you can play anywhere.
yeah, pretty much like if you can play hip hop, you'll get booked and for pretty much all day, 7 days a week or yeah, 24/7, pretty
24/7,
much
yeah.
7 days a week. So, but right now I'm also getting better at being a house DJ. I love house music. It's a little bit different just because the tempos and the beats and stuff like that. And so it's really the same. All of it's the same when it comes to DJing. It's just also learning your own sets and learning what kind of music you want to play and stuff like that. And so it's all very similar.
How much time goes into the preparation before an event? Because it's like we see the sets, we see all of the or we hear all of it at an event, but it's like, how much time does it take to prep for the songs, like, even just writing a song? Yeah. Go into
Yeah,
the
the
backstory
time,
yeah, yeah.
the
It's like
time that
everybody
it takes to prep.
yeah,
If you want my honest answer,
all the
I would
time.
say if you've never done it, then practicing is great. Like you still practice. I still practice, right? Like you want to get better and you still want to practice. But I would say like when it comes into knowing the set or like knowing what you're gonna play, I don't do that. I don't do that only because I don't want every time I go back to Fedora or certain places for it to be the same songs playing in the row.
Fair enough. So you do go a little bit more intuitive.
Yeah, so it's more of like, okay, like what is the crowd feeling? Like what am I feeling today? Like do I want to play this one at this time or do I want to play it a little bit like 30, 40 minutes later kind of thing. So it's like one thing as a DJ though, if you do have somebody with you as a guest DJ or training, then it's like you have to listen to what they're playing because you don't want to play that again. But outside of that, like you kind of They're like, oh, you got to remember what you play. You got to remember what you play. I'm like, I don't really remember what I play. I just play it, and then and then I come back the next week, and then okay, cool, like But there are some songs where like they just mesh together really well. So like I'll play those two or three songs that's back to back each time, just because it has that.
because it goes together.
Yeah. Okay, but outside of that, um, outside of that, you don't really, I don't really prep, if that makes sense. I'll
Mhm.
just kind of go in and just say, okay, this is what I already know what it is that I'm going to be playing, because when you play it enough, you kind of have an idea of what you need to play and when you need to play it.
So you're already at an unconscious competence level of, like, knowing what you know, and then you're just like, "I will play it when it." Now, how do you know based on the crowd response or the reactions? Are there certain cues that you're looking for? Because I know for, like, photography for me, like, there's certain cues that I'm looking for to be in the right spot, to be at the exact time, to catch the moment. It's like, is there a sound or a cue that you're looking for, listening for in the crowd before changing a song, switching a song, putting on a new song?
Yeah, I would say it's not more so. I would say the time factor is a one thing is one thing. So time, but also like the crowd for sure is definitely you're going to be your biggest, I guess, reactionary when it comes to when you're going to change the song or what songs to start playing next. But I would definitely say time for sure is probably is my second biggest one, only because when so clubs are mainly open from, especially here in Dallas, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Right? So 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. There's really nobody in there. Those are the people who kind of want to get their night started, just kind of show up, get a drink or two, bar hop, right? Figure out where the night's gonna take them.
They're just
Sometimes they end up staying all night, but sometimes, most of the time, you know, from 10 to 11, it's just people rotating, coming in, coming out, coming in, coming out. So you're just playing. I call it the mid stuff, right? We call it the mid stuff.
okay.
So all the stuff that people know but don't really feel like dancing to yet, right? Like it's kind of just like, all right, cool. And I would say like around 11 to 12 is when you start playing more of the hype music. So it's like, there's like every genre has their mid portion songs, and then they have their hype songs. And then around 12, I'll say 11:30 more so. There's a genre in Hispanic music called dembow. Around that time is when I'll start playing that music, because it's dancing, it's hype, it's up there. Now there's specific songs in that genre that you don't play till later in the night, because that's like a really popular song.
So to
Yeah,
get
I mean,
the DJ, you gotta be at the place at the right time.
yeah, absolutely. So like most of the time, like if I'm being completely honest, from 10 to 12, like you're just playing stuff where it's like, all right, like first it's like you're just kind of just chilling out, then we're getting the crowd moving, and then from 12 to 2 a.m., that's where it's like peak hours where you're just going in and playing all the popular stuff and the stuff that's getting people hype and dancing. And one thing that I tell people all the time is like, and I mean this all like to respect, like to to I guess my special friend, to my girl, is as a DJ, you're playing for the women at the end of the night. And
So you
if the women,
what the guys want.
yeah, like at the end of the day, it's like the woman's not dancing and women aren't coming in, then the men aren't going to come in, and then the men aren't going to spend money.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and then if you're not getting those people to come in and spend money, at the end of the day, the place is going to move on from you as a DJ and find another DJ.
Do they base their money mainly off of the DJ? Like the major vibes, like, that you guys bring?
I would say most times they definitely judge us for sure. We've been told like, hey, like I need to switch it up, or this and that, or like, I've heard DJs get told, yeah, like we already know what song this DJ is gonna play at this time and this and that. And I was like, damn, like, ugh. And that's like I say as a DJ, that's not what you want to hear, because it's like,
Yeah, it's like,
damn,
you
like,
don't want that.
yeah. So it's like that's why I say like when I go in, like I don't have a set list. I don't have a set thing that I'm gonna play at a certain time. Like I might switch it up. Like at one point, there's a genre in Hispanic music called guaracha. It's basically like house music, but for Latin people, right? Or it's also like tribal. It's a whole different type of genre. Hispanic music has so many different genres in it. It's just insane how much how creative people can get. I was like, but from 11:30 to 12, I might play guaracha instead of dembow, and I just might switch it up and just always go back and forth with it, just so that way every night doesn't feel the same. It just feels like a different DJ every night.
That's
And
cool.
so that's kind of how I go into everything. Is like I don't want to be that guy or that DJ that's just playing the same songs over and over again. Now, granted, you still play the same songs over and over, but I want them in a different order. If that makes sense.
No, that makes
So
sense. So you and I both have a background in network marketing, and we both understand like the apprenticeship side of business and the apprenticeship side and mentorship. Tell us how the industry of like DJing actually works, because like from what it looks like on the outside looking in is like you need one person that's like, I'll take you under my wing, I'll teach you my sets, or especially if you haven't done any of the sets, it almost looks like very much like an apprenticeship style of work. From your end, is that true, or is it a little bit different?
I would say that it's true. I think it just depends on the person though that's becoming a DJ or that is a DJ. Because not everybody has that luxury of being able to have somebody take them under the wing, especially in the DJ world,
That's cool.
especially in residency DJs. Because at the end of the day, it's like really think about it from this perspective of somebody who's a resident DJ. If they teach somebody else and that somebody else ends up becoming better than them, guess
That's their
what? That person
competition.
just lost their job.
Yeah.
And so you have to find the right group of people, and especially a special group of people in the DJ world who are willing to help you succeed in that and being able to put you in the best position possible. Same thing as network marketing or in the like crypto space and all that stuff, where it's like, if you don't have the right people with you who are willing to put you in the best position possible, right? Because that's what a great leader does. That's what somebody who genuinely wants to see somebody succeed does is give them the tools and opportunity to be better than them.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the way I see it is somebody will always be better than you at something. It's just a matter of who, when, and where. And are you willing to accept that? You know what I
Right.
mean? Because if you're willing to accept that, guess what? You're going to play the way that you want to play freely and do everything that you need to do, and then the way that you want to. And guess what? That place might be loyal to you because hey, you've been here the longest, and we enjoy you as a person, and we enjoy your company, and we enjoy your music. But for me, I was blessed enough to have but a friend and a buddy who's already a DJ at Fedora. Um, his name's Loco Joe. Shout out Loco Joe. Um, but he's a
Does he
friend
play
of
there
mine. I met,
regular?
huh?
Is he a local resident
Yeah, he's
DJ?
a resident DJ for Fedora. So like,
Okay. Okay,
he's
good.
over in Grand Prairie on Fridays, Dallas on Saturdays. And so like, I said this before where, when I first started learning, I just hit him up and said, hey, like, do you mind if I come and watch you play, hang out, and kind of help you set up and stuff like that? And luckily for me, I was like, yeah, bro, absolutely, like come on, pull up. I was like, all right, bet. And so obviously at first it's like, when people and all this other stuff, like people are like bringing you shots and this and that, so you're like, damn, like I don't. But then it's like you can get lost in that really quickly, where it's like rather than focusing on learning, you're more focusing on partying. And I had to differentiate that real quick. Like, ugh, like I can't,
Work or
I can't.
business this way.
Yeah, I was like, I can't. I'm trying to learn something, but I can't get too messed up to the point where like I'm not learning, I'm not paying attention. And so you kind of have to differentiate that and have that self respect and self discipline. And so I was with him for a few weeks, and it was actually Fourth of July weekend when he was like, I told him like, hey bro, we're gonna meet up with Lazo, shout out Lazo. He's the DJ that's training me now, more so training me to where I'm at now. But I still kind of go with him and still DJ with him just because I don't have an actual residency yet.
Mhm.
But I pretty much open for him from like 10 to 12, and then he closes it out from 12 to 2 a.m.
Got you.
But he took me under his wing because he had told me like honestly, he's like before you, I was done training. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, he's like I was done. He's like, because he's like
He's
I
like,
I
"I
just want
wanna
to
do
start
it."
focusing on this and that. I was like, But I was like, but the only reason why he did it was because I ended up buying, it's called was it the DDG the Flex 10 add to DJ board. That board's like almost 1,700. I ended up buying it and I showed him. I was like, all right, bet. I was all like, I showed it to him and I was like, hey, this is on the way. It'll be here Tuesday. He's like, so he
He
ended up
said
going
that
to another one of the DJs. Was like, hey, bro, like, what should I do? He's like, fuck it, dude, train him. He's like, he
he's
bought
ready,
it.
he's
So it's like,
hungry, he's ready.
yeah. So it's like because he did that, and I was able to, I guess, fast
Dang,
track my learning. Huh?
because you bought the board, you, like, put your money where your mouth is, like, "I wanna learn this, I'm ready to do it,
Exactly.
here's my skin in the game."
So exactly. It was like proving to him and proving to myself, like, how bad do you want it? Like, you know what? Like, I gotta eat the money. I gotta eat that, right? And just say, hey, how bad do you want it? And now that we're slowly putting ourselves back in there, it's like, okay, cool. Like, it was an investment, right? Everybody talks about investments, investing in yourself, and especially as a DJ or somebody who wants to be a musician or in the music industry, like, you have to invest in those equipment. It gets expensive, but nobody's telling you to do it all at once, all at the same time. Yeah, I mean, so it's like for me, it's like slowly putting my stuff together, and so that's kind of when it comes to mentorship. Lazo's definitely been the biggest mentor that I have, just because he's allowed me to learn on his music. He's allowed me to learn on his board. He's allowed me to give him the time to get no, yeah, his time to me in order to be successful. It's funny because that thing called after hours, right? Everybody knows what after hours is. You know, I did a lot of my training through after hours. Like, just so I'm talking about, like, we'll be at one place from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. The next place, the after hours from 10 a.m. to 6 a.m. There was literally a month where I was literally running on, like, I want to say, like, 3 or 4 hours of sleep every day, just because I still have family, I still have responsibilities, I still have people that I need to see, right? Like, especially when I was started talking to this one girl. It's it was hard because it was like 3 hours, get home like at 6:30, go to sleep at 7, have to be up at 12, not even 12, like 11 o'clock. So, like, what, 4 hours of sleep, three
Yeah.
hours of sleep, and then be with her pretty much all day until I gotta go again. So, like, I'm talking about, like, we're on like 3, 4 hours of sleep sometimes. But then, like, eventually your body gets used to it, and it's just, but man, it was a crazy first month, and I said, hey, bro, like, I can't do this every day or every
You
weekend.
sleep now.
Yeah, so it was crazy. But yeah, I think mentorship has been a really big help, in fast tracking myself to get to where it is that I want to be as a DJ. And even Loco Joe tells me all the time, he's like, dude, like, the fact that you were able to do Redora Dallas on a Friday by yourself, and for the bartenders to like it, the bottle girls to like it, managers to like it, and people were having a good time. He's like, bro, he's like, that shows that you have the skills and you have the understanding of it. So to hear that, and this actually happened a couple weeks ago, like, to hear that, it meant a lot, just because it was like, like, if it wasn't for those two guys, I don't think I'd be here as a DJ currently, getting my name out there the way that I am. Mentorship is, if you can find it, it's grab a hold onto it, and you better you better do what you need to do, because at the end of the day, one thing that I think also what really helped was that one of Lazo's rules, if not his main rule, is don't waste his time.
Mm,
And, like,
mhm.
don't waste his time. And I feel like if you are going to be a mentor to somebody, I think having that rule is probably like, to letting somebody know that up front and saying, hey, I'm going to help you out, but just don't waste my time. Like, if you're not going to do it, like, it's setting the ground rule of, like, I will let you go and not help you if you waste my time. And that's not them being a jerk or an a-hole or anything like that. It's just them saying, hey, I have other things I need to do, and I'm giving you my time to help you. And if you don't want that help, then that's on you, because you're not doing what it is that you need to do.
I love that you mentioned the fact that, like and you told us the story of, like, the month that you spent doing obnoxious hours because I think that that piece is overlooked so much, like, people finally get, like, their in or their first mentor, somebody's finally given them a chance to, like, do something with whatever it is that they wanna do, and then they're like, "Meet me at this time," and then the other person's like, "Well, that doesn't work with my schedule." I'm like, that's the last thing you wanna say. Like, you say,
Yeah,
"Yes, we'll clear my schedule, I'll do whatever it takes to" I mean, and I come at it from a different angle now, but, like, there is a sacrifice of sleep on some level, and it's like, even as a woman, it's like hustle culture kind of blows like, I don't love it, but, like, there is a point in a season where it is necessary to do whatever it takes, and it's like, if you're in that season, do whatever it takes, and then you won't have to do that again. Like, I don't have to do obnoxious hours anymore. Did I do it at some point in my life, in my career? Then. And it's like a short period of time. Like, for you, it was like a month. It's
yeah.
like you obviously cannot operate like that for forever, but you can do it for a season. And so, was there a point in your mind where you're like, "This is just for a season, this is just for a time period," was it or was it just kinda like, "We'll make it through somehow, some way?"
Yeah, no, definitely, I would definitely say, I think when it first started, it was more like, "Ah, just gotta make it through, you gotta make it through," but then it's like and then as you kinda progress and as I got better um, you just then you start telling yourself it's just a season. It's just a season, it's just that self-motivating stuff that you have to tell yourself sometimes. So, like, when I say, like, I was running on 3 or 4 hours of sleep, like, there was days where, and this is also during the week too because, me and my girl, we would go to the gym together. So and she gets off at 8 PM, and I still have had a full-time job at this point. Sunday night, I'm getting home at, like, 11:30, having to wake up at 4:30 just to be at work at 5, work from 5 to 3:30, get home at, like, 4:10, 4:15, right, shower, take a nap, right, and then be up at 8 to go meet my girl at the gym, and then we're there from, like, 9 to 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then I gotta come home, shower again, go to sleep at 12, be up at 4 o'clock.
Only you would
So
be at the gym for 3 hours.
well, I mean, obviously, like, we're talking and stuff like that, but, like, the gyms are packed now, it's just insane. But, but yeah, so, like, through that whole moment, through that whole month and a half, it's almost 2 months, really, it was, like, at that point, it was kinda like, you kinda do question yourself a little bit and say, like, "Is this all worth it?" Like, "I wanna sleep, I wanna sleep, I wanna sleep," but then it's like, you just have those moments where you say, "Hey, you know what?" Like, I had to tell my girl sometimes, like, "Hey, like, I can't make it to the gym today, like, I'm tired. Like, I just can't. Like, I have to catch up on some sleep." And then luckily there was some Sundays where, we had off and, there was another DJ taking care of Adora Dallas on Sunday. I was like, "Hey, we don't work Sundays." Sleeping in until like 12, 2 o'clock, and then I'm up,
So
and
you
then
just
I
had
can
a
go.
super sporadic sleep schedule.
Yeah, so it was kinda just all over the place, but you definitely kinda have to tell yourself in those moments where it's like, "It's just for a season, it's just for a season." It's kinda self-motivating yourself to just push through it and just kinda realize, like, it's not gonna last forever. But at the end of the day, nothing really does last forever, and it sounds bad to say that because 'cause you're like, "Oh, what about the good times?" Well, good times don't last forever either, but if you can just enjoy those moments and enjoy those processes, same thing, and in network marketing, they tell you to fall in love with the process, right? You hear it from David Goggins, you hear it from all these motivational speakers where it's like, if you just learn to enjoy the process, love the process, then that's when you really start to understand yourself as a person and really start to push your limits as an individual. Because yes, you do need sleep. At the same time, it's like, how far can you push yourself to tell your body, you know, I just need to do this until I get to here. And then you start finding ways to help yourself throughout the day. So like, most jobs give you 2 breaks and a lunch break,
Mhm.
right? So guess what I'm doing? I get there, coffee or energy drink. First break, I'm taking a nap. Lunch, I'm eating for 10, 15 minutes.
Taking a
Yeah, sorry, hold on.
You're good.
Taking a nap. right? Get up, go get another coffee because I'm tired.
You got an Aura ring on? Is that an Aura ring on your
No,
finger? No. I was like, might some sleep now.
that I guess sense of trust and let her know like, hey, like I wear this because I want you to know like after every
That's
night,
cool.
like I am gonna come home to you. Like it's
That's
not
cool.
so
That
yeah.
is Where do you see yourself going with DJing? And I know you have big aspirations and you kind of want to do a little bit more of the travel side of DJing, not necessarily the residential side. So what does that look like for 2026, Matthew?
For 2026, Matthew, ooh, I would say honestly, it starts with producing my own house music,
Okay.
producing, creating my own music when it comes to that genre. Just because the only way you can actually start becoming an actual travel DJ is by making your own music like that. Only because they have these big festivals, right? Everybody knows them as EDC, Tomorrowland, Ultra Music Festival, and some other ones. Like those are the three main biggest ones that I know. But I've been hearing a lot more of some newer ones that are coming up, like starting to become bigger. And so it's just being able to make my own music to then be putting it out there. And like the music industry is going to be hard regardless. I had this conversation with my brother the other day where it's like everybody's trying to do the exact same thing that you're doing. But at the end of
Everybody
the day,
says that.
yeah, it's like, but at the end of the day, it's like at the end of the day, to me, it's like if you're putting in the work and you're putting in the time, and you're putting in more time and more effort, and you're putting in like, and it comes back to those feelings. If you're making yourself, like, if you're expressing your feelings through your music, and other people resonate with that, then it's like your music's just going to become better, essentially, just because people want to feel what it is that you're feeling because it helps them understand their feelings.
How
Go ahead.
many how many times? Because like, in music, it takes one song to go viral, and then the rest of the people see the rest of your work. So it's like, if if you make one song, it's like if have that feeling of like, Matthew's gonna make this one song in 2026 that goes viral, and then the rest of the work is like people start to discover it.
Yeah. It- I'm sorry, I was confused
Or
with the
it
question.
was more just like painting the vision, like, that could be like your thing is like, all you have to do is make one song that goes viral instead of all of this work. It's like
Yeah,
in the back of your mind, it's like one song.
absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, you're right, 'cause, that's kinda how, like, most people blew up on TikTok. Like, they
Mhm.
made that one song. Now, that's the hard part, like, can you make one song and then can you make another good song?
Yeah.
That's the hard part, right? But it's like, if you can make that one song and perfect your craft through everything else, like, that's why, I was just telling my brother, like, you just have to make the music. You're making the music and you're just putting it out there, eventually, like, whether it sounds good or whether it sounds bad. Like, at the end of the day, somebody might find your good song bad and somebody might find your bad song good. Who knows?
Who
It's
knows?
just
Critic
just depends on the person. Like, but at the end of the day, it's like you still have to put in the work. You still have to put in that time. And for me, I got to put in the work. I got to put in the time in producing my own music to then reach those big stages and to reach those places and those countries I want to be at and things like that. And the main reason is because I think through network marketing, I think when you see and you travel the world with people and people that you care about and with friends and when you've already seen what the world is like outside of the US, not saying the US is a bad country, but we have our issues. We have our issues. We have our issues.
when you're American, you go over to Europe, you're just like, "Oh, there's so much
Yeah,
more."
it's like why can't we do that over here? And it's not trying to bash on Americans, it's not. Even though we have our issues, yes, but at the same time, it's like why to me it's like why should I stop experiencing those things? You know what I mean? It's like why should I stop living that type of life? And if I'm able to do that and I'm able to create something, with my name, you know, it's not necessarily building a legacy because I mean, granted, yes, it's still a legacy. I was like, but the way I see it is,
It's building a career.
yeah, it's building a career and it's being able to travel and do what it is that I want to do bring the people that I care for and that I love along with me. I tell my girl all the time, like, if once, and I say once this takes off, once I'm able to do this, it's like she can quit her job, she can travel with me, right? She doesn't have to worry about any other, person or any other female or anybody else like that. Like, because you're going to be with me and we're going to be traveling the world and we're going to be doing this. We're going to be going to city to city, country to country, you know, enjoying ourselves and stuff like. And so that's kind of how I see it. It's like as a residence DJ, especially when you're trying to be in a relationship or anything like that, it's hard. It's hard because DJs just automatically have this thing put over them. We're like, oh, you're all the same. This is how you are. I'm like, no, I'm not. Yes, do I get hit on? Yes. Like I tell my girl all the time. Like a couple weeks ago, a girl came up to me and said, "Oh, my friend thinks you're cute." Like, oh, that's cool. I
You're
was
like,
all
"Cool."
like, I was like, that's cool. Like I showed her my phone screen. I was like, I don't know what you want me to do. I was like, oh, I was like, yeah. I was like, all right,
Just
bye. I was like, you
okay,
gotta you
bye.
gotta head out anyways. Night is over. I'm trying to go home. So, but it's just one of those things where it's like at the end of the day, like when you kind of take yourself out of the picture and you kind of start putting things in a perspective of, yes, you want to do it for yourself, but also it's like it's more so you want to be able to create experiences with the people that you love and what you care about. And I think that's the biggest thing for me, that as to why I want to be a Tomorrowland or a house DJ and reach those main stages, because at the end of the day, it's like I can go play at those places and then we can stay for 2, 3, 4 days, if not a week, if we wanted to, and just kind of move around and stuff like that.
It's cool
So
because it's like you found the one, well, not one, but you found a profession that speaks to your, like, soul, but also speaks to the soul of other people through music, and then it's like then you also get to travel, and you can create whatever you wanna create out of this profession, which I don't think was the case probably, like, 20 years ago. Like, the whole concept of a traveling DJ, like, people don't do that. It's like you had your in pockets and they just stayed there. But now you can, like, every profession, you can move around and do stuff, so I think it's a really cool vision, and I can't wait to see it happen because 'cause I'm sure there's gonna be a house party where I'm like, "Matt, come here." You
yeah,
might
not definitely. So it's exciting times, the times that we're living in. Like, yeah, it's tough times, and it when you look at things at the economic state and all that stuff, and it can get hard. But as long as you really just kind of believe in yourself, and I say believe in God too, because that's honestly, if it wasn't for God, like genuinely, like I don't think I'd be where it is that I am currently. People tell me like, "Oh, like how can you be a DJ and be surrounded by the nightlife and temptation all over the place and still believe in God?" I'm like, you can believe in God. It's the end of the day, it's like it's who you are as a person. If you're gonna give into the temptation, then don't be a DJ. I was all like, or do be a DJ. It's up to you. It's really one of those ones where it's 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 still up to you. Like you decide who you want to be at the end of the day. And it's like, to me, it's like I
there's
know who it is that I am as a person.
there's the concept of consumer versus producer, and it's like you're at work, you're producing.
Exactly. So it's like,
Consume nightlife, you're the one producing nightlife, and so I see that a lot. I used to think nightlife people were just like, "Why would you?" I had this perception, and it was my own fault for, like, thinking that all people are the same, which you can't categorize people. Like,
yeah, for real.
but I was like, "Why would they do that?" And still, like, go to church on Sunday. Like, I just had this terrible perception, and then I was like, over the years and, like, come to find out, I'm like, "Dude, they're producers." Like, none of them are drinking. They're the ones
Yeah.
creating the environment. They're probably the most fun people to be around
No,
after the fact,
definitely.
'cause they're, like, still sober, and they're, like, actually just the most lit people ever. Yeah, I was like,
That
whatever you can do to stay a producer in whatever industry, it's game over.
I mean, that's why when you're a drug dealer, you don't get high off your own supply. Like when you start doing the things that you're producing, it's like at the end of the day, like whether it is drugs or whether it is music or whether it is like being a bartender or a bar back or whatever, it's like you can't. There is a fine line, and I would say this in the nightlife where like,
Mhm.
yeah, you might have a couple shots as a DJ, people will bring you a shot or whatever, like like you might get tempted to, for most people they might get tempted for to be with to sleep around and stuff like that, which is I get it, right? You're human, you're gonna have those temptations, but at the end of the day, like I said, it's like because it's such a fine and thin line, you as a person and as an individual have to have that self-discipline to be able to not
How
cross
would
that
you
line.
how would you say personal development has shaped your life and prepared you for being in this industry?
Oh, man, it's shaped me so much as a person to the point where it's like, like, especially, like, if I didn't do network marketing, I think I'd give into the temptation if it
You
wasn't
just
for network
wouldn't
marketing.
you wouldn't have learned, like, there wouldn't have been any.
Exactly, to understand myself and self-discipline and seeing the things that I failed over and over and over again, especially when it came to network marketing, like, you kinda take and I feel like if you're not taking the things that you failed in other industries and taking it with you in another one, then you're not really growing as an individual. Like, the things that you failed in as a person when it came to, you know, like, my job, right? Like, okay, like, talk to my this is okay, like, for my next job, right? Because I still need some more income,
Yeah,
right? Let me just not do those things that I did before.
like,
Right?
let me back again.
If you're not taking those lessons from previous experiences into your next experience, you're not growing as an individual. And because of so much that I learned with personal development, personal growth, and just mindset when it came to network marketing and hearing all these different seminars and, really taking it in and applying it to who it is that I want to be as a person and moving into the DJ world, like, yes, like, at the end of the day, like, when it comes to my girl, and I say this all the time, and I bring her up a lot just because it's just a great way to explain, like, relationships
Mhm.
and growth within this industry is that, you know, I tell her all the time, like, "You have to trust me, and I have to trust you regardless, whether if I am in this industry or not." And, like, do I have my moments where I slip up? Do I have my moments where I might get clingy or where I might get, with her and stuff like that? Like, yeah, I might have those moments, but, like, if I'm able to recognize those things, then understand, okay, like, hey, like, and she calls me out on it. And that's the beauty of having good people around you, that if they call you out on your things that you're doing wrong, like her, Laszlo, Loco Joe, a couple of my friends there, like, when they call you out, like, no, like, you didn't do good here, you didn't do good there, like, hey, you need to improve here, like, to have these people in my circle and currently in my life, like,
Mhm.
that's what, like, I feel like network marketing shaped me into the person it is that I am still trying to become, but it added so much to me as a person to the point where it's like I cannot not think about improving as a person, like improving all the time. So it's
Who do
like,
you
how can I improve?
do you currently listen to for, like, advice, like, whether it's, like, podcasts or, who are you currently, like, vibing?
I would say personally, I think I haven't listened to anybody in a while, but when you kind of catch yourself mindlessly scrolling every now and then, a lot of my um, Instagram
What's the
reels, yeah, it's nothing but like motivational stuff and like stuff where it comes to like developing relationships. And one thing that that I've noticed when it comes to people posting nowadays is like they'll post them at the gym or whatever, and like they'll have like this long paragraph of like you know a relationship's a real relationship when when you both fight for each other, this and that. And it's like it's like stuff like that where it's like it's not necessarily hearing it, but it's like just reading it. And I feel like when you read it, you're able to take in more of that information than just hearing it, because anybody can hear anything and just go in one ear out the other. Like, but when you're actually reading those things, like you're taking in the information and like you're processing it at the exact same time as you're reading it. So it's like it's just and now like I said, it's like it's not anybody specific, but it's like these things do pop up where I'm like, okay, like some people are like, oh, like the divine intervention, or like, oh, it's just coincidence, like, or it's a sign. It's like, you know what, like whether it is or whether it isn't, at the end of the
It
day,
is
it's like,
meant to be.
yeah, like I needed to see it. I was like, damn, like it hit home a little bit, and all right, I'm gonna take it into consideration. I'll start working on this on myself. And it's just one of those things where like if you're not self aware, and I think network marketing definitely helps you with that, like becoming a lot more self aware of yourself and who you are as a person. At the end of the day, like they say, like if if you can't handle $100, what can you do with $1,000,000? And same thing when it comes to DJing. Like if you can't control yourself in temptation, like
It's
then
like,
every time you're
can't
in that situation, you're
you
always going
can't
to be tempted. Yeah. So it's like I think it's network marketing has helped out a lot, and whether it's for most people or not, like at the end of the day, it does teach you a lot of things, whether it works out.
The personal development side of network marketing will, fundamentally change anybody's life, whether they
Yeah,
actually succeed at network marketing or not, that's irrelevant, but, like, the personal development side of it, I've never
and
seen anybody learn personal development and come out worse.
is actually like or like revert back to what they were like. Because at the end of the day, the way I see it, I'm like,
If
you
anything, they
know,
just pissed off because 'cause they're, like, now aware of the fact that they're
yeah,
doing whatever they're
and
doing.
I think that's one thing where it's like, especially being in a nightlife, like most people use the nightlife to escape
Mhm,
what they don't want to hear or like what they don't want to feel, and so it's like you're also, I would say as a DJ, like especially going through that whole personal development side, and even then being on that side
mhm.
of the nightlife, like it's two different worlds. Genuinely, it's two different type of worlds, and it's just scary how different they are. Because like when you're not behind the bar or behind the booth, like you're
Then
there to. You say what?
it's like, "Then who are you?"
Yeah, it's like then who are you? But it's like, but then like when you're there and you're behind the bar and you're behind the booth, you know who you are. You know what type of person that you are. Like, and so if it wasn't for network marketing, I wouldn't have even been so solid within myself and within my faith. And I try to prove that to everybody. My friends, to try to prove that to my family, prove that to my girl. Like tell her all the time, like this is who I am. And even then, like it's just who I am as a person. Where like I'm not gonna screw you over or screw anybody else over because you know of the small temptation that was in front of me. Like I tell people all the time, like especially if you're in a relationship, and this is just relationships regardless, is that why spend a night in a hotel and ruin a home kind of thing.
Right.
So it's like
It's like you're in an industry where it's like actions speak louder than words no matter what, and so it's like
yeah,
your actions will tenfold. Like, you don't have
most
to do
definitely.
much, but
Yeah,
that's
it's
it is really cool, to hear, like, from that perspective, like, there's 2 sides of it, is, like, there is the side of the people use nightlife to escape, but then there's also people that use nightlife to express and to feel and to do it in a way that's actually useful, beneficial part of their life without doing too much or going overboard or so it is interesting because it's like you're in an environment where you don't know what the person next to you is thinking. You don't know why they're there, really,
yeah.
truly.
No, definitely. And I mean, you can say that for like sitting on a bus or in
Yeah.
a train, and same thing, same concept. But it's like yes, you do have people who are celebrating, which is fine, right?
Mhm.
Everybody celebrates. Like yeah, go celebrate. But then there are some people who are like use it every day or every weekend to escape something. It's like yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like you kind of worry about it a little bit, not just like for yourself, but like more for like their for them as a person.
For
Just because
them as a
like I said,
person.
like yeah,
Yeah.
like as a DJ, like like I've been there, I've been in those moments, and it's like, damn, like even though I'm playing music, like like and this is the me thing. Like I'll people watch just because like one, I'm looking to see how the crowd's gonna react, and two, it's like how like I wonder what this person. And this is
Like, how
me being me.
actually
Yeah, like this is me being me. Like I wonder what this person's feeling in front of me right now. Like, are they okay? Like, are they having fun? Are they celebrating? Like, I hope they're going through, I hope they're having a good time, even though despite what they're going through, if they're
but
going through anything.
I think that's probably one of the coolest things about being friends with you and having lived with you and worked with you and done business and traveled is the depth of how much you care about people is so evident that, like, you're like, "Are you okay?" And, like, you want to genuinely know the answer without without any of the nonsense. And so, like, even as a DJ, like, your heart is still there
Oh yeah, and I feel like I said, like,
more.
I think it's more just because it's like at the end of the day, it's like for me, like I'm expressing who it is that I am as a person
Mhm.
with with the music, and it's like, and then I want people to still feel what it is that they want to feel, like whether they're silently battling through it or whether it's physically, they're physically showing it or anything like that. Like at the end of the day, like. Like, I appreciate those words that you say because, like, I do care for people, genuinely. It'll never not stop. Like, that's just
Yeah,
me as a
that's
person.
just you.
Like, but it's like, yeah, like, I do care just because, like I said, like, you know, when you've been on the other side of certain things and you've found a way out, now you kind of hope that other people aren't doing those same things. And it's just out of curiosity, obviously. Like, I'm not gonna go up to a stranger and say, "Hey, are you okay?" Like, like, yo, what the fuck you doing? But it's like, but genuinely,
You would do that with friends, not just family.
yeah. But it's like, it's just, like, I feel like you kind of have to have compassion. I feel like as a DJ, just because you're playing for the people at the end of the day, and if you're playing for yourself, then you're just being selfish. And if you're not self-aware of that, then at the end of the day, like, you're not a good DJ. And that's just in my eye. But overall, I would say, like, who I am as a person and that caring factor has really allowed me to not fall into the spiral of what everybody thinks the nightlife is. And I think that's one thing why I know, like, I'm really proud of myself of, and is that I told myself, I told my family, I told my girl, I told some of my closest friends, I said, my goal as a DJ isn't to come in here and, have sex with mindless women and, like, or have sex with mindless women, to have mindless sex with women, right? To drink all the time, to party, yeah, like, I'm in the life, but that's not my goal. My goal isn't those aren't my goals. Like, my goal is to create something outside of that and still show people that you can believe in God and you still can be a morally good person and be in the nightlife. It's just a matter of your decisions and who
Way in
you are
which
as a person. Exactly. So it's like that's one thing that I really do want to prove, just because it's like, I don't know, that's kind of like what I just feel like. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's
'cause
not trying to prove that I'm better than anybody. It's just like,
everybody has perception, and then it's like it's shattered by meeting one person that operates in the world that they once thought, and they operate a totally different way. You're like,
exactly. And it's like, oh, like, I didn't, like, cause like, people tell me that all the time. Like, I get oh, you have a girl? Like, yeah, like, like,
like,
how is it? I'm like, it's hard. I'm like, but whether I was a DJ or not, the relationship's still gonna be hard. So it's just a matter of me putting in effort where it is that I feel like effort needs to be put in. Like, I still find the time to go be with her. I still make it a priority to go see family. I still make it a priority as a person, like, especially the DJ, like, just making those priorities. And so I was like, because you do lose your weekends. You lose your weekends. You kind of lose a lot of, uh, lose out on a lot of family events and stuff. And
is it a
you kind of just,
loss? Is it a loss?
it's not, okay. So when I say lost, it's more of like,
You can't do all the family stuff.
yeah, like, it's more of like what you're used to and what you're accustomed to, like, you miss out on is
You have
basically
to
what I'm trying to say.
you have to shift
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
your work weekend is the weekend.
yeah. So it's all like, so it's just like you kind of have to shift everything and move things around, and then you kind of feel bad because, I mean, but this is probably just me because, like, now people have to kind of work around your schedule because they want you there,
Mm,
you know, because it's like I can only do things from like, most of the times I get up from like maybe 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. on the weekend, and then I gotta be out by like 8, right? Most family parties or gatherings start like around 7 or 8 o'clock. I'm there from like for 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and then I'm gone. But it's because I have to work. Like, my girl tells me all the time, it's like, hey, can't complain because you chose it. This is
you
life you
gotta
chose. So, like, you gotta keep going. I was like, "You're right." I was like, "You're right."
it's
Because I
like,
do, like, yeah, like, I do think about those times, like, to spend time with, with her, her family and with her friends and with my family and, stuff like that, and be able to have, like, those actual date nights on a weekend with your significant other and stuff like that. Those things where I'm like, "Damn, like, I wish I had,
I
like,
think
his back."
it depends on how far you're thinking, because it's like
Yeah.
you could be booking one show and it covers enough to have some of your weekends back.
No, absolutely, and so that's kinda like, but as you said, like, when you're looking at the now, it's like, it can
Yeah,
get, but long term, it's like I told her, I just said, like, to have those, like, eventually we're gonna get those weekend back. We're gonna get that time back. It's just a matter of putting in the work now to get to that point.
ex This was super cool. I've learned so much just about nightlife, about music, about I've honestly not heard a lot of this, like, from you, and so it's been really cool to hear this side of Matt. Uh, uh, but would you say there's anything, like what's the thing you're looking forward to most, like, within the rest of this year or the rest of 2026? Like, what are you looking forward to most? And then, like, where can people find you and, like, how can people get connected?
Yeah, I would say, what I'm looking forward to most is, I guess, the end of this year is really solidifying my skills to actually get like actual residency spots where I am going to be there every weekend. No, whether it's at one place or at another, and stuff like that. Like consistently growing my portfolio in places that I've DJed at. I think there's still enough time to get um, that portfolio up. That way I can start getting booked for other places. And as for 2026, I think for me, it really is about um, creating my own music, producing my own music, putting myself out there the way that I want to, and the way that I need to, um, and finding other ways to make money off of DJing, like TikTok DJing, like streaming stuff like that. Like one thing that I do plan on doing is actually I'm gonna downsize my room. I'm actually gonna get rid of my bed, my queen size bed. I'm gonna get a futon, and yeah, I'm gonna get a futon, and and I'm gonna buy like small speakers and like soundproof my room a little bit, so that way I can make it my studio.
Studio?
Yeah, just that way I can put myself in that experience, like not experience, but like in
But
that
give yourself
environment.
that space, yeah.
Yeah, give myself that space to where constantly looking at looking at these things. Where like, okay, like I have to make this music. If I don't make this music, I can't be here. I can't, you know what I mean? And it's like, and then constantly having that reminder of like being able to do that, um, or want the need to do it. So it's just one of those things. It's sort of one of those necessary steps where it's like, okay, I have to do this in order to get to here. I was like, am I going to be uncomfortable sleeping? Probably not, because I sleep really really heavy anyways.
Like a sleep.
But but yeah, and then be able to put my music out there and hopefully you know somebody likes my music and I'm able to get record deals and stuff like that. Now, granted, it's going to take some time regardless, but that doesn't happen in 2026. But hey, I'm still putting in the work and putting in the processes to
Right,
to
it's
get
building the
there. Yeah, so it's but overall, I'll say that's my goal for 2026 is that, and the way that people can reach me is you know Kid Roze official on Instagram. Let me see. I don't
you make
remember. Yeah, it's Kid Roze underscore official Instagram. And yeah, that's one way that you can reach me. Follow me, contact me, mm, see if you want me to book me if you're in the Dallas area. Mm, So yeah,
sweet.
overall, this is a great conversation. I think this was a little bit more personal side of me. Uh,
It's the mastermind behind the performance.
yeah, exactly. So, but I really do appreciate you having me on here, Grace, and it meant a lot. And it was good catching up with you and hearing some things about you and before the call and stuff like that. So
Before the recording, yeah.
yeah, before the recording, and so it was definitely a good time. I had fun.
Thanks for spending your hour with us today on Winning with Grace. I think the last question I have for you is the podcast name is Winning with Grace. So how do you practice that winning with grace? Because I know that many people they can win, but they kind of like take down other people, or they just like I wanted to build a space where I could like people could understand that like you can win in whatever area you want to win in and you can do it gracefully. So it's like, what does that mean to you?
I would say like when you're winning with that grace is like not only do you have humility, but you have a lot of self awareness, and in that humility, and you're clapping for others regardless of where you're at. I think when network marketing taught me that for sure. Not too long ago, one of my homeboys, his name is DJs, right? Great DJ, amazing DJ. Got more experience. He's got a year's worth of experience more than I do. He got his residency for Fedora on Fridays, right? But I've been doing it with Fedora for a little bit longer than he has. Now, did it
Mm,
irk me a little bit? Did it bother me? Absolutely. But at the same time, it's like it's realizing, hey, he's got more experience. He's got more of this. He's got more. So at the end of the day, I'm congratulating him. I'm happy for him. Super excited. Great guy. Plays amazingly. Now I just gotta wait for my turn, and I just gotta support him 'cause he's one of my buddies. He's one of my brothers. So it's like there's no bad blood, and it's just understanding that like your time's gonna come.
That's
So it's
cool.
like when you get to that point, it's really about where your loyalty lies. You know, there's a saying that goes like, a woman's loyalty lies when the man has nothing, right? And then a man's loyalty lies when he has everything. And so it's really like, okay, like, I just have to remind myself, like, be loyal to my people, to my family, to my friends, to my girl, like this. Because at the end of the day, like, if it wasn't for the support group that I have, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And it's just remembering that, and obviously with God in the center of it all as well. Continuously having him there, and even when you don't feel like you're getting there, it's reaching out to him and constantly reminding yourself, "This is where I need to be," or, like, stuff like that, so I would say that's what winning with grace means to me.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Matt, for your time. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I cannot wait to see what 2026 brings for you. And then probably
Absolutely.
have you on again as you're yeah. I can't wait to see you like traveling and getting to do what your vision because like we know this, it's like paint the vision, make it clear, and it'll happen. You already have the vision, so I can't wait to see it unfold in front of us.
Yeah, absolutely, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
I'm excited.